Hello, you're listening to Hugo Talks. Now, this is an exclusive video on hugotalks.com only. Well, that's the idea as I'm making this video. Feel free to download and upload elsewhere as you please. So let's get into this Lucis Trust. Someone sent me a recent video that is squirreled away on their website called Preparing the Way for a New Civilization. And if you've been following me, I've done a fair few videos on the Lucis Trust, aka Lucifer Publishing, and really, if you haven't seen those, you should check them out. I'll leave links in the description. There was Lucifer and the United Nations, a video about the Aquarian agenda and how it linked to other people and other organizations. I did a video about how the Lucis Trust openly state they do invocations, spells to raise the energy for big international political events like the G8 and the World Economic Forum Davos Convention. You know, they don't hide it, and it's weird. I don't see that many other people covering this. It seems to be a bit of a no-go area for some reason. Now, I'll just give you a brief lowdown on the Lucis Trust, but you should check out the other videos I just mentioned to get a better understanding. So the Lucis Trust was set up by the Freemason Alice Bailey for her writings in 1922. It was originally called Lucifer Publishing Company, after Lucifer, the fallen angel, usually associated with Satan, the devil. They changed the name to Lucis after getting backlash from the public. They say it means Lucifer, the light bringer, and it's all about bringing light to the world, and was inspired by Helena Blavatsky. Now, the Lucifer Trust has consultative status with the Economic and Social Council of the United Nations, and World Goodwill, the name of their groups that are literally all across the world, is recognized by the Department of Public Information at the United Nations as a non-governmental organization, an NGO. They are the spiritual foundation of the United Nations, the most powerful intergovernmental organization in the world. You know, the United Nations that runs the World Health Organization, that have been jabbing billions of people with their pharmakeia devil juice and are attempting to tell you what you can and cannot do. Their spiritual foundation is the Lucis Trust, Lucifer, Luciferianism, no different to the Freemasons and other secret societies. They don't even hide it. This is what these people believe in. The people who are ordering governments and you to maintain sustainability goals, to get digital IDs, to have your carbon footprint measured, who are working with companies to block out the rays from the sun, to make you eat artificial food, to create a cashless society. Yeah, you know the score. Their religion is Luciferianism. And it's weird. I mean, if you actually look into it, they believe that very soon the age of Aquarius will be coming in, or if not, it's already started. And they say the Lord of the seventh ray will appear. They believe he's an ascended master, okay? Sometimes they call him Christ, but they don't mean Jesus Christ. They mean something else. They think he is going to appear in 2025. The Lord of the Seventh Ray. They call him Saint Germain, and they believe he has been reincarnated many times in the past. He was a Roman emperor, Merlin the magician, Plato, Christopher Columbus and Francis Bacon, to name a few. That's what they believe. They believe he's going to come back and give off a burning energy and change everything into a new energy of Aquarius or something like that. To me, it sounds a bit like the Antichrist. And here we see the president. This is the president of the Lucifer Trust here giving a message out. It's called Preparing the Way for the New Civilization. It says a talk given via Zoom during the online Arcane School Conference, Geneva, June the 4th, 2022, by Christine Morgan, president of the Lucis Trust. Now remember, these people are the spiritual foundation of the United Nations. They maintain and are in charge of the UN building's meditation room in New York. General Assembly Building. It's the room with the big black cube of Saturn in it, yeah? Satan. Dedicated to the god who goes by many names. And I wonder who that could be. It could be Lucifer, isn't it? The Baphomet, Satan, the Morning Star. I reckon that be it. Now you can check out this video message if you want. I just wanted to take a few snippets and talk about it. So this is Christina Morgan, the president of the Lucis Trust. I did try to look up some information about her, but I couldn't find anything. There was nothing online. I did find a video interview, which I have a clip of later on. And in that interview, she said she comes from South Africa and her mother gave her Alice Bailey books went to read when she was 21. And then her mother took her to the arcane school shortly afterwards on a regular basis. And then later on, she became the director of that arcane secret school in South Africa, which led on to her becoming the president of the Lucis Trust. So it looks like it's been handed down to her, or at least it looks as if being a Luciferian is in the family. Okay, so that's a bit of background. And here she is from June talking about how the world is going to change in the near future and what they should be doing and what to expect. Also, bear in mind that in these clips, these people talk in a very vague manner, overcomplicating things, trying to disguise what they really mean. Here's the first clip.
And this is why in this present period of transition, the Lord of the Seventh Ray is taking over the control of affairs and the ordered working out of the plan, so as eventually to restore stability to the planet and give the incoming Aquarian influences a stable and extended field in which to work.
Okay, so they're saying the Lord of the Seventh Ray is coming. That'll be their Christ, Lucifer, Antichrist, Saint Germain, reincarnated person, ascended master. And this is going to make the age of Aquarius come alive, yeah? These are the people consulting with the United Nations. Okay, next clip.
The Seventh Ray works powerfully through Uranus. And visualizing this planet's influence, we can help to consolidate the new world order on the physical plane. And indeed, we're given a symbol to meditate upon in esoteric astrology for just this purpose.
So there you go, consolidate the new world order, she says. Always got to mention the new world order. And this is going to happen once the Lord of the Seventh Ray passes through Uranus. Sounds painful. So here we have the president of the Lucifer Trust talking about consolidating a new world order, and she is asking for her groups to meditate, to magnetize the world to make all of this happen in a more streamlined way. Okay, now in this next bit, listen to how she talks about the minds of the public, the brains of the people in the West, and how their minds maybe are overdeveloped and are maybe thinking too much, and how this impedes their ability for them to use white magic. Check this out.
So the challenge today is that humanity has a powerful desire body, which makes many demands, and at the same time, and perhaps especially in the West, the concrete mind has developed to such an extent that it can preclude the higher, more intuitional type of consciousness. The mind increases the pace of progress, but if overdeveloped and vibrating too intensely, it becomes insular, a world into itself. The overactive mind is a barrier to attaining free access to those levels where higher group associations are formed. And in order to create higher group associations based on the white magic of right relations, a certain magnetization of the surrounding ethers is very beneficial, as pathways of communication are more easily forged in a magnetic environment.
Okay, so are you following this? She's saying that overdeveloped minds are not helpful for white magic relations, and they want to magnetize the surrounding ether. What, through the Ethernet cables, eh? Because pathways of communication are forged in a magnetic environment. She uses the word magic and white magic a lot, doesn't she? Okay, next clip.
The relatively small success achieved by Western students of white magic to date, we're told, is mainly due to the non-magnetic condition of the environing ether. In certain parts of India, the ethers have been kept in a relatively serene condition and constantly magnetized by the presence of the masters. Magical work has been somewhat easier of attainment. So the frenetic pace of modern life in the West, plus the separative forces of the concrete mind, constantly disperse the build-up of magnetic conditions. And it's said that at the moment it would require too much force to make the Western environment a suitable place for white magic.
She says they are looking to make the West a suitable place for white magic. And I know right now there'll be comments saying, you know, there's nothing wrong with white magic, black magic, grey magic, it's all magic, okay? If you're indulging in magic, black, white or grey, you're cheating, yeah? You're trying to get advantage over others who are not indulging in secret society witchcraft, yeah? Who does white magic? Who does black magic? Who performs this? Witches. This is witchcraft. And this, like I was saying, this is the spiritual foundation of the United Nations. All of them are witches, yeah?
Makes it difficult to magnetize it in a meaningful and lasting way. And hence part of the work of meditation groups is to do just this. And the 3 Arcane School conferences we hold in the 3 of the 5 planetary centers each year is part of this work of preparing the field of magic for the immediate future and for those who follow us in incarnation.
Preparing the field of magic. I don't know if you saw my video about NVIDIA, the graphics card company, and how they are working at improving the metaverse, the counterfeit world they are trying to create out of envy due to the world being created by God. And the devil counterfeits what God does. And I talked about demons running the apps and software on your phone and your computers, downloaded onto your devil vices, your devices, and installed by installation wizards through the ether, through Ethernet cables, okay? For you all to stare into your Black Mirror devices, okay? And these people at the Lucis Trust, they love talking about technology and magic as being one, as being helping one another. The Lucis Trust. Here's an article from 2014. It's their biannual letter, September 2014. It says, working out beneath the surface of the information and communications revolution is an arcane process with tremendous implications for humanity's future. In the digital circuits on which the internet, computers and cellular phones all rely, electricity is made to run through the circuitry pattern on a silicon chip, performing an ordered, repetitive dance, the rudiments of ceremony and ritual. They're talking about the internet, how it is an arcane process, a ceremonial and ritual process when traveling through circuits on the internet. And here's another clip of this practicing witch, who is the president of the Lucifer Trust, okay? In an interview with a Jewish guy who asks about the use of Christ in the Great Invocation. Now, the Great Invocation is like their prayer or spell. Now, I didn't know this, but they claim that the Great Invocation was handed down to them at the Lucis Trust, handed down to Alice Bailey by an ascended master from the cosmos or something in April 1945, just weeks before the United Nations Charter was signed. It says here on the Lucis Trust website on the article, United Nations Manifesting. There's another word for you. Manifesting, a word you hear a lot in witchcraft and New Age. It says here, United Nations manifesting the vision of one humanity. It shows in the article how the Lucis Lucifer Trust and the United Nations are so linked. It says the conference, which finally created the UN Charter, took place in San Francisco over the period beginning just before Wasak 1945, with the UN Charter being adopted on the day of the full moon of Cancer, 25th of June 1945. It is interesting to contemplate that this conference happened in a city named after a prior incarnation of Master Kutumi. Master Kutumi being one of their ascended masters. So yeah, okay, check out this clip. She is interviewed by this guy who asks, why do you use Christ, the word Christ, in your great invocation?
I'd love to sort of start there because, and I don't know off the top of my head, but within the invocation that you mentioned, God is mentioned 3 times, so mind, heart, and will. And then, as you were saying, Christ is mentioned. And then there's sort of a footnote that you can substitute the Imam, you can substitute Bodhisattva from Buddhism and so forth. A lot of our religions have somebody to come back. Talk about the invocation, if you will. It's sort of, all right, here I am, Jewish guy, people listening and so forth. I find sort of the meditations very soothing. Talk about, how I, from my religion or others, use the invocation, how it's used amongst your sort of population there, the group. And
I can understand from your point of view, being Jewish, to suddenly see the Christ there. But of course, he's not the Christ for Christians.
Sure.
We often call him a world teacher. And if he does reappear, he will come as a world teacher, and is very unlikely to be in terms of religion as such. But of course, he's not the Christ for Christians.
Sure.
So it's a very powerful energy, that will energy. And it's that will that the Christ is going to bring when he reappears. And it will burn away. It's a sort of fiery will to good. It's not a sort of gentle, soft spirituality in that sense. He's going to burn away those barriers that exist between people. And we do have an adapted invocation where we don't mention Christ. It's the same, except we call, instead of saying the race of men, we say the human. We use the word human. And Christ we've called the coming one.
Yeah, so there you go. I mean, she says it's not the Christians' Christ. It's not that one. Oh no. Well, what Christ is it then? What other Christs are there? Well, there's Jesus Christ. Yeah. Who else? The only one I can think of is the Antichrist. So is that what it is? Lucifer, Antichrist, Lucis Trust, Lucifer Publishing. And then she says, sometimes, we swap the word Christ out and we swap it with the coming one. Okay, yeah. All right, yeah, I've heard enough. But, it's all love and light, yeah? There's nothing sinister going on here at all. So let's just recap. We have the Lucis Trust, who are Luciferians, who are into witchcraft and worship Lucifer, the fallen angel. It's all inverted. They think Lucifer is the good guy and Jesus is the bad guy, okay? When they talk about good and evil, they're talking about it in the reverse way that you would be thinking what is good and what is evil. They work hand in hand with the United Nations and the World Health Organization. The World Health Organization are the United Nations, yeah? And they have jabbed billions of people numerous times over the last year with experimental injections, pharmacy or pharmakia, which means sorcery. Sorcery is the use of magic. Magic is performed by witches. It's witchcraft. Is this getting through to you yet? I hope so. I hope so. Look, if you read the Bible, if you believe in God and Jesus, then it's a well-known thing in those circles that in the Bible, all demons bow down to Jesus. All witchcraft will be returned to sender. It says, No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me. Okay, that's the story in the Bible. Many instances where demons run from Jesus. Numerous stories of demons submitting to Jesus. For example, we have Mark 3:11, and the unclean spirits, demons, whenever they saw him, fell down before him and cried out, saying, "You are the Son of God." Okay, so if you're someone who truly has faith in the Bible and believes, then you shouldn't be afraid of witchcraft. These people should hold no fear for you. And I'm asking, is that belief and conviction strong enough to see people through? And also, if you're thinking that way, you shouldn't be taken in by the Decepticons and the deceivers, those around us, all around us in the media, because they are also in a certain way casting a spell on you. They are tricksters in the media and in the alternative media. We talk about trauma-based mind control on the masses, the public being hypnotized, being spellbound. Is that another form of witchcraft? Is that a spell being put on people? Is it because they have lost their way? Is this because people have been trained to think in a secular way and therefore don't have conviction, don't have faith? I mean, all that has happened over the last while, it's got me looking at the Bible. I had no interest before, but now it seems to be, I feel it's pivotal in what's happening, because obviously these control freaks, these Luciferians, they believe in it, that's for sure. And all that is happening is not just, it can't just be down to greed. It can't just be down to money. It can't just be about power either. It's got to be more than that. Everything that's happening must have been planned for decades, maybe hundreds of years. There has to be some form of very strong conviction behind what they are trying to do. And you have to ask, is this why our media is so saturated with rubbish? Look at Netflix, look at all the shows, look at all Amazon Prime and all of the horror and the devils and the serial killers and all of the crap. Is this why we see so little talk of Jesus and the Bible in the mainstream media? Because, you know what? Maybe it's a source of strength at times like these. And they don't want you strong. They want you weak. They don't want you to have a backbone to stand up to them. They want you to have a backbone made of jelly so you can curl up and hide in the corner. Okay, look, I'm just thinking, this is what's going on in my head, okay? Look, let us know what you think in the comments. Feel free to download this video and share wherever you want. This is going to be exclusive on the Hugo Talks website. That's what I'm planning. I'm not going to upload it anywhere else. So come and subscribe to hugotalks.com so I can notify you when I upload videos, and so I don't have to rely on third-party platforms to get the word out. Take it easy, and I'll see you later.